Hey guys, it's me. I'm back. Let me turn this around. Hey. So, last week I had you read to line 400 of the play Oedipus the King or Oedipus Rex or whatever you want to call it. So, let's have a brief recap of what's going on. So, there's a plague on Thebes. Oedipus is the king, and he needs to find a way to relieve his community of this plague. So he goes and he talks to Crayon and sends Crayon to go talk to the oracles so the oracles can talk to the gods and then the gods can tell them why. Well, Crayon comes back and Crayon says, well, it's because the king that was here before you was murdered. We need to find who murdered that king. Well, Oedipus is like, okay, I'm going to totally find out. Let me see if I forgot anything real here. Of course, this is willingly. Okay, so Oedipus is talking to the chorus. And he was like, okay, the man who killed Laius or knows of the killer should step forward and give me the information. I promise you I won't kill you. I'm only going to exile you from Thebes. And the chorus is like, oh, dude, you should totally talk to Tiresias. That dude knows some stuff. We heard some travelers killed Laius. And Oedipus is all, yeah, I heard that too. Oh, here comes blind Tiresias right now. Imagine that, a blind person who can see things very well. It's almost like that's an archetype. Anyway, he's like, Oedipus is like, yeah, I heard that too. I will send for Tiresias. Oh, here comes Tiresias now. Let me talk to him. Yo, blind T, you know who killed Laius? And Tiresias is all, yeah, but I'm not gonna say it because you ain't gonna like it. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. And then Oedipus is like, dude, you're betraying me and our city. What's up with that? And that's where we are, basically. So let's continue real quick. Well, not real quick, but let's continue. We are at right here. So Oedipus is talking to Tiresias right now, the blind prophet. Will you not speak out? Will your stubbornness never have an end? You blame my temper, but you do not see the one which lives within you. Instead, you are finding fault with me. What man who listened to these words of yours would not be enraged? You insult the city. Yet events would still unfold for all my silence. Since they will come, you must inform me. I will say nothing more. Fume on about it. If you wish as fiercely as you can. I will. And in my anger, I will not conceal just what I make of this. You should know I get a feeling that you conspired in the act, and you played your part as much as you could, or as much as you could do, short of killing him with your own hands. If you could use your eyes, I would have said that you have done this work all by yourself. So Oedipus is like, you probably don't want to tell me because you had a hand in it. Is that so? I would ask you to stand by the very words which you yourself proclaimed, and from now on not speak to me or these men, for the accursed polluter of this land is you. You dare to utter shameful words like this? Do you think you could get away with it? I am getting away with it. The truth within me makes me strong. Oh, man. Tiresias was like, oh, you could keep blaming me, but you're the one that did it. And Oedipus is like, how dare you? Now we're back over here in the second column. Who taught you this? It could not have been your craft. You did. I did not want to speak, but you incited me. I didn't want to tell you, but you kept pushing me until I did. What do you mean? Speak it again so I can understand you more precisely. Did you not grasp my words before, or are you trying to test me with your question? I do not fully understand your words. Tell me again. I say that you yourself are the very man you're looking for. That's twice you've stated this disgraceful lie, something you'll regret. Shall I tell you more, so you can grow even more enraged? As much as you desire, it will be useless. I say that with your dearest family unknown to you, you are living in disgrace. You have no idea how bad things are. Do you think you could just speak out and say things like this and still remain unpunished? Yes, I can, if the truth has any strength. It does, but not for you. Truth is not in you. For your ears, your mind, your eyes are blind. You are a wretched fool to use harsh words which all men soon will use to curse you. You live in endless darkness of the night, so you can never injure me or any man who can glimpse daylight. It is not your fate to fall because of me. It's up to Apollo to make that happen, and he will be enough. Is this something Creon has devised? Is that your intention? Creon is no threat. You have made this trouble on your own. Oh, riches, ruling power, skill after skill surpassing all that is life, rivalries. How much envy you must carry with you. If, for this kingly office which the city gave me, for this I did not seek it out, Creon, my old trusted family friend, has secretly conspired to overthrow me, and paid off double-dealing quack like this, a crafty bogus priest, you can only see his own advantage, who in his special art is absolutely blind. Come on, tell me. Tell me how you have ever given evidence of your wise prophecy. When the Sphinx that singing bitch was here, you said nothing to set the people free. Why not? Her riddle was not something the first man to stroll along could solve. A prophet was required. And there the people saw your knowledge was no use, nothing for birds or picked up from the gods. But then I came, Oedipus, who knew nothing, and yet I finished her off, using my wits rather than relying on birds. That's the man you want to overthrow, hoping, no doubt, to stand up there with Creon once he's king. But I think you and your conspirator in this will regret trying to usurp the state. If you do not look so old, you'll find punishment in your arrogance that your arrogance deserves. So, here's what's going on right now. Oedipus thinks that Tiresias... let me start over. Tiresias told Oedipus, you are the one you are looking for. You are the one that killed the king. Oedipus gets infuriated and is like, how dare you say this? I think you and Creon are working together to try to overthrow me so Creon can be the king. And Tiresias is like, it's not like that. You can be mad at me. You can have as much anger as you want towards me. You are your own worst enemy. And Oedipus, again, starts saying that, well, this is something that you and Creon are trying to do to overthrow me. But Tiresias is like, no, that's not it at all. It's just the truth. Okay. We're down here where it says chorus leader. To us, it sounds as if Tiresias has spoken in anger. And Oedipus, you have done so too. That's not what we need. Instead, we should be looking into this. How can we best carry out the god's decree? You may be king, but I have the right to answer you, and I control that right. For I am not your slave. I serve Apollo and thus will never stand with Creon. Signed up as his man. So I say this to you, since you have chosen to insult my blindness, you have your eyesight, and you do not see how miserable you are, or where you live, or what it is who shares your household, or who it is that shares your household. Do you know the family you come from? Without your knowledge, you've become the enemy of your own kindred, those in the world below and those up here, and the dreadful feat of the two-edged curse. From father and mother will both drive you from this land in exile. Those eyes of yours, which you can now see so clearly, will be dark. What harbor will not echo with your cries? Where on Citharon will they not soon be heard? Once you have learned the truth about the wedding by which you sailed into this royal house, a lovely voyage, but the harbor's doomed. You have no idea of the quality of other troubles which we will render you and your own children equals. So go on. Keep insulting Creon and my prophecies, for among all the living mortals no one will be destroyed more wretchedly than you. Must I tolerate this insolence from him? Get out, and may the plague get rid of you. Off with you now. Now, turn your back and go, and don't come back here to my home again. I would not have come, but you summoned me. I did not know you would speak so stupidly. If I had, You would have waited a long time before I called you here. I was born like this. You think I am a fool, but to your parents, the ones who made you, I was wise enough. Wait, my parents? Who is my father? This day will reveal that and destroy you. Everything you speak is also cryptic like a riddle. Well, in solving riddles, are you not the best there is? Ooh, Tiresias just took a dig at him. Because earlier, Oedipus was like, oh, if you're such a great prophet, how come you didn't get rid of the plague that the Sphinx was putting on the city? And you had to solve a riddle. You couldn't do it. I showed up and did it. And Tiresias is like, oh, if you're such a good riddle solver, why don't you solve this one? He took a little dig at Oedipus. Mock my excellence, but you will find out how I am truly great. The quality of yours now ruins you. I do not care if I have saved the city. I will go now. Boy, lead me away. Yes, let him guide you back. You're in the way. If you stay, you'll just provoke me. Once you're gone, you won't annoy me further. I'm going, but first I shall tell you why I came. I did not fear the face of your displeasure. There is no way you can destroy me. I tell you, the man you have been seeking all this time while proclaiming threats and issuing orders about the one who murdered Laius, that man is here. According to reports, he's a stranger who lives in Thebes, but he will prove to be a native Theban. From that change, he will derive you no pleasure. He will be blind, although he can now see. He will be poor, although he is now rich. He will set off for a foreign country, groping the ground before him with a stick, and he will turn out to be the brother of the children in his house, their father too, both at once, and the husband and the son of the very woman who gave birth to them. He sowed the same womb as his father and murdered him. Go on and think on this. If you discover I have spoken falsely, you could say I lack all skill in prophecy. So Tiresias is led off by the boy, and Oedipus turns and goes back into the palace. And then we have the chorus speaking up again. Speaking from the Delphic rock, the oracle voiced intoned a name. But who is the man, the one with his blood-red hands, who has done unspeakable brutality? The time has come for him to flee, to move his powerful foot more swiftly than those hooves on horses riding on the storm. Against him Zeus now springs, armed with lightning, fire, and leading on the inexorable and terrifying furies. From the snowy peaks of Mount Parnassus, the message has just flashed, ordering all to seek the one whom no one knows. Like a wild bull, he wanders hidden in the untamed wood through rocks and caves, alone with his despair and joyless feet, keeping his distance that doom uttered at earth's central navel stone. But the fatal oracle still lives, hovering above his head forever. The wise interpreter of prophecies stirs up my fears, unsettling dread. I cannot approve of what he has said, and I cannot deny it. I am confused. What shall I say? My hopes flutter here and there with no clear glimpse of our past or future. I have never heard of any quarreling past or present between those two, the house of Ladbicus and Polybus' son, which could give me evidence enough to undermine the fame of Oedipus, as he seeks vengeance for the unsolved murder for the family of Labdicus. Apollo and Zeus are truly wise, but they understand what humans do. But there is no sure way to ascertain if human prophets grasp things any more than I do, although in wisdom one man may leave another far behind. But until I see the words confirmed, I will not approve of any man who censors Oedipus, for it was clear that when the winged Sphinx went after him, he was wise man then. We witnessed it. He passed the test and endeared himself to all the city. So in my thinking now, he will never be guilty of a crime. So the chorus is basically saying this. Everything that Tiresias was saying was very confusing, and it made us think. But we could never, since Oedipus saved us, we can never think that he's the one that committed a crime. Here comes Crayon. You citizens, I have just discovered that Oedipus our king has leveled charges against me, disturbing allegations. That I could not bear, so I have come here. In the present troubles, if he believes that he has suffered any injury from me in word or deed, then I have no desire to continue living into ripe old age still bearing his reproach. For me, the injury produced by this report is no single isolated matter. No, it has the greatest scope of all. If I end up being called a wicked man here in the city, a bad citizen, by you and by my friends. So Crayon returns because he's like, hey, I heard Oedipus was talking some crap on me and saying that I was the one, or I'm trying to overthrow him. Perhaps he charged you spurred on by rash power of his rage, rather than his mind's true judgment. So the chorus leader's like, he probably just accused you because he was mad. So he just yelled it out in anger, but he probably didn't mean it. But Crayon's not going to care. That's still going to bother him. Was it publicized that my opinions convinced Tiresias to utter lies? He was like, oh, is Oedipus telling people I told Tiresias to lie? That's what was said. I have no idea just what that meant. Did he accuse me and announce me of charges with a steady gaze or in a normal state of mind? I do not know. What those in power do, I do not see. But he is approaching from the palace. Here he comes in person. Here comes Oedipus walking out of the palace. You, how did you get here? Your face has grown so bold you now come to my own home. You who are obviously the murderer of the man whose house it was, a thief who clearly wants to steal my throne. Come, in the name of all the gods, tell me this. Did you plan to do it because you thought I was a coward or a fool? Or did you think I would not learn about your actions, as they crept on me with such deceit? Or that, if I knew, I could not deflect them? This attempt of yours is not madness, to chase after the king's palace without friends, without a horde of men, to seek a goal which only gold or fractions could attain. Will you listen to me? It's your turn now to hear me and make a suitable response. Once you know, then judge me for yourself. You are a clever talker, but from you I will learn nothing. I know you now, a troublemaker, an enemy of mine. At least first listen to what I have to say. There's one thing you do not have to tell me. You have betrayed me. If you think being stubborn and forgetting common sense is wise, then you're not thinking as you should. And if you think you can act to injure a man who is a relative of yours and escape without penalty, then you're not thinking as you should. I agree. What you have just said makes sense. So tell me the nature of the damage you claim you're suffering because of me. Did you or did you not persuade me to send for Tiresias, that prophet? Yes, and I'd still give you the same advice. How long is it since Laius did what? What's Laius got to do with anything? Since Laius was carried off and disappeared, since he was killed so brutally. That was long ago. Many years have passed since then. At that time was Tiresias as skilled in prophecy. Then as now, he was honored for his wisdom. But back then, did he ever mention me? No, never, not while I was with him. Did you not investigate the killing? Yes, of course we did, but we found nothing. Sorry, I got a message. Why did this man, this wise man, not speak up? I do not know. And when I don't know something, I like to keep my mouth shut. You know enough. At least to understand enough to say, or at least you understand enough to say. What? If I really do know something, I will not deny it. If Tiresias were not working with you, he would not name me as one of the one who murdered Laius. If he says this, well, you're the one who knows. But I think the time has come for me to question you the way you have been questioning me. Ask all you want. You'll not prove I'm the murderer. And tell me this, are you not married to my sister? Since you ask me, yes, I do not deny that. And you two rule this land as equals. Whatever she desires, she gets from me. And am I not third, equal to you both? That's what makes your friendship so deceitful. No. If you think this through as I do. First consider this. In your view, would anyone prefer to rule and have to cope with the fear rather than to live in peace, carefree, and safe in his powers, if his powers were the same? I, for one, have no natural desire to be king, in preference to performing royal acts. The same is true of any other man whose understanding grasps things properly. For now, I get everything I want from you, but without fear, or without the fear. If I were the king myself, I'd be doing many things against my will. So how can being a king be sweeter to me than royal power without anxiety? I'm not yet so mistaken in my mind that I want things which bring no benefits. Now I greet all men, and they all welcome me. Those who wish to get something from you now flatter me, since I am the one who brings success in what they want. So why would I give up such benefits for something else? A mind that's wise will not turn treacherous. It's not my nature to love such policies, and if another man pursued such things, I'd not work with him. I couldn't bear to. If you want proof of this, then go to Delphi. Ask the prophet if I brought back to you exactly what she said, or what was said. At that point, if you discover I have planned something, that I have conspired with Tiresias, then arrest me and have me put to death. Not just on your own authority, but on mine as well, a double judgment. Do not condemn me on an unproved charge. It's not fear to judge these things by guesswork. Sorry, guys. To assume bad men are good men, or good or bad men bad. In my view, to throw away a noble friend is like a man who parts with his own life, the thing most dear to him. Give it some time, and then you'll see clearly, since only time can fully validate a man who's true. A bad man is exposed in just one day. So here's what Crayon says. Why would I possibly want to overthrow you and take your throne when I get all the benefits, if not more benefits, of knowing you and being third in charge? So all the anxiety that you have to deal with from being king, all the things that you have to worry about with your kingdom, with your city, I don't have to do any of that. Oh, on, bell's ringing. I don't have to do any of that, and still I get all the benefits of being a king. I get people fawning over me. I get people giving me stuff just to like whisper a word or two in your ear. Why would I want to mess that up? Then Oedipus says, if some conspirator moves against me in secret and with speed, I must be quick to take my counter plans. If I just rest and wait for him to act, and then he'll succeed in what he wants to do, and I'll be finished. What do you want? To exile me from here? No, I want you to die, not just to run off so I can demonstrate what envy means. You are determined not to change your mind or listen to me. You'll not convince me, for there's no way I can trust you. I can see that you've become unbalanced. By saying he's become unbalanced, he's basically saying you've lost your mind, Oedipus. I'm sane enough to defend my interests. You should be protecting mine as well. But you're a treacherous man at your nature. What if you were wrong? I still have to govern. Not if you do it badly. Oh, Thebes, my city. I have some rights in Thebes as well. It's not yours alone. The palace door is open. My lords, an end to this. I see Jocasta coming from the palace, and just in time. With her assistance, you should bring this quarrel to a close. Here comes Jocasta. You foolish men, why are you arguing in such a silly way? With our land so sick, you are not ashamed to start a private fight? You, Oedipus, go in the house, and you, Crayon, return to yours. Why blow up a trivial matter into something huge? Sister, your husband Oedipus intends to punish me in one way, or in one of two dreadful ways, to banish me from my father's country or arrest me and then have me killed. That's right. Lady, I caught him committing treason, conspiring against my royal authority. Let me not prosper, but die a man accursed, if I have done what you have accused me of. Oedipus, for the sake of the gods, trust him in this. Respect that oath that he made before all of heaven. Do it for my sake and for those around you. I beg you, my lord, consent to this, agree with her. What is it then? What is it then you're asking me to do? Pay Creon due respect. He has not been foolish in the past, and now the oath he's sworn has power. Are you aware of what you're asking? Yes, I understand. Then tell me exactly what you're saying. You should not accuse a friend of yours and thus dishonor him with a mere story which may not be true. He's sworn an oath, and therefore can be subject to a curse. Like if he lies. By this point, you should clearly understand when you request this what you are doing, seeking to exile me from Thebes or to kill me. No, no, my sacred Helios. The god who stands preeminent before the rest. May I die the most miserable of deaths, abandoned by the gods and by my friends, if I have ever harbored such a thought. But the destruction of our land wears down the troubled heart within me, and so does this. If you two add new problems to the ones which we have for so long been afflicting us, well then let him go then. Even though it's clear I must be killed or sent here here in exile, forced out and disgraced, I have been moved to act compassionately by what you said, not by Creon's words. But if he stays here, he will be hateful to me. You are obstinate, obviously unhappy to concede, and when you lose your temper, you go too far. But men like that find it most difficult to tolerate themselves, in that there's no justice. So basically right there, what Creon is saying is every time you lose your anger, you lash out at everyone. It's always everybody's fault but your own. And that is bad. That's bad leadership. Because we talked about hubris and how hubris means excessive pride at the beginning before we started this lesson. And Oedipus is displaying that. He's displaying this excessive pride like no one can tell me what to do. No one can tell me I'm in the wrong. I'm always right. If something I've done that's wrong is ever pointed out, I can't take that blame. I have to place it on others. And that's what he's doing with Tiresias and Creon. He asked Tiresias to come and give him some advice. And when Tiresias said something that he didn't want to hear, he lashed out, and instead of taking the blame, he placed it upon Tiresias and Creon. It's you two that are doing this. You two are trying to conspire against me, when all they're doing is telling him the truth. But the truth isn't something he wants to hear. Okay. Where were we? Oh, right here. Why not go? Just leave me alone. I'll leave, since I see you do not understand me. But these men here know I'm a reasonable man. Exit Creon away from the palace, leaving Oedipus, Jocasta, and the chorus on the stage. Chorus leader. Lady, will you escort our king inside? Yes, once I have learned what has happened here. They talked, their words gave rise to uninformed suspicions and all-consuming lack of proper justice. From both of them? Yes. What caused it? Right there. With our country already in distress, it is enough, it seems to me, enough to leave things as they are. Now do you see the point you've reached thanks to your noble wish to dissolve and dull my firmer purpose? My lord, I have declared it more than once, so you must know it would have been quite mad if I abandoned you. Who, when this land, my cherished Thebes, was in great trouble, set it right again, and who, in these harsh times which now consume us, should prove a trusty guide? By all the gods, my king, let me know why in this present crisis you now feel such unremitting rage. To you I'll speak, lady, since I have more respect for you than I do these men. It's Creon's fault. He conspired against me. In this quarrel, what was said? Tell me. Creon claims that I'm the murderer, that I killed Laius. Does he know this firsthand? Or has he picked it up from someone else? No, he set up that treasonous prophet. What he says himself sounds innocent. All right, forget about the things you've said. Listen to me and erase your mind with this. No human being has skill in prophecy. I'll show you why with this example. King Laius once received a prophecy. I won't say it came straight from Apollo, but it was from those who do assist the god. It said Laius was fated to be killed by a child conceived by him and me. Now, at least according to the story, one day Laius was killed by foreigners, 860 by robbers, at a place where 3 roads meet. Besides, before our child was 3 days old, Laius fused his ankles tighter together and ordered other men to throw him out on a mountain rock where no one ever goes. And so Apollo's plan that he had become the one who killed Laius, or the one who killed his father, didn't work. And Laius never suffered what he feared, that his own son would be his murderer. Although, that's what the oracle had claimed. So don't concern yourself with prophecies. Whatever gods intend to bring about, they themselves make known quite easily. So Jocasta says this. Listen, Oedipus, it can't be you, because when I was married to Laius before he died, a prophet came to us. And this prophet said, hey, your son that Jocasta is pregnant with will grow up and he will murder you. So Laius is like, whoa, I don't want to get murdered. So he tied his son's ankles up and had one of his messengers place him on a mountainside. So basically the kid would die and not murder him. So Jocasta's like, listen, it can't possibly be you then. Lady, listen as I say these words of yours. My soul is shaken, my mind is confused. Why do you say that? What's worrying you? I thought I heard you say that Laius was murdered at a place where 3 roads meet. That's what I said, and people still believe. Where is this place? Where did it happen? In the land of Phocis, sorry. The 2 roads lead there, one from Delphi and one from Daulia. How long since these events took place? The story was reported in the city just before you took over royal power here in Thebes. Oh, Zeus, what have you done? What have you planned for me? What is it, Oedipus? Why is your spirit so troubled? Not yet. No questions yet. Tell me this. Laius, how tall was he? How old a man? He was big. His hair was turning white. In shape, he was not all that unlike you. The worse for me. I've just set myself up under a dreadful curse without my knowledge. What do you mean? As I look at you, my king, I start to tremble. I'm afraid, full of terrible fears. Terrible fears the prophets see. But you could reveal this better if you now will tell me one thing. I'm shaking, but if you ask me, I will answer you. Did Laius have a small escort with him, or a troop of soldiers like a royal king? Well, 5 men, including a herald, went with him. A carriage carried Laius. Alas, it's all too clear.